some math.
Or should I say good evening?
Well, maybe, is it AM or PM?
I don't know. Is it morning or evening?
Maybe we should teach the kids about that.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, we've been working a lot about telling time, but there's something important that we need to talk about, which is whether or not it is AM, which means morning, or PM, which means afternoon. Because I know that I eat breakfast in the morning, and what's something that you do in the evening?
I eat dinner.
You eat dinner. But on a clock, we only see 12 different hours. But the clock has 2 sets of 12 hours.
There's 24 hours in a day. I know that.
24 hours in a day, and half of them are AM, and the other half are PM.
Oh. So are you telling me that the hour hand on a clock has to go all the way around 2 times for it to be a whole day?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Isn't that cool?
I did know that.
I mean, today is Wednesday, March 3rd.
Yeah.
Right? So we have 24 hours today before it turns into March 4th.
Okay.
Yeah. And by the time the kids are watching this video, several hours have already passed for today, even if they just woke up.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit more about it, and then we are going to practice on this worksheet. At the beginning of our worksheet, it says that noon is 12 o'clock in the daytime. Midnight is 12 o'clock at night. We're usually sleeping. All right. Times after midnight and before noon are written with AM. So all of our morning times, beginning at 12 o'clock, right, are AM. 11 o'clock AM is in the morning.
Okay.
All right. In fact, we have a reading group at 11 o'clock.
We do.
AM.
Yeah.
And then it says times after noon, so like after you eat lunch, and before midnight are written with PM. 11 o'clock PM is in the evening. And this picture is so dark you can't see it because they're hanging outside.
I think they're probably sleeping.
They're sleeping
Let's
outside.
just say they're sleeping.
They're camping.
Yeah. Camping under the stars.
So you can see that there's 2 different 11 o'clocks, right? And one of them might be when you are eating lunch or you're doing a reading group, and the other one is when you are fast asleep. So let's take a look at what we need to do on the worksheet here.
I hope they're sleeping at 11 p.m.
They better be.
They better be sleeping at 11 p.m.
If not, I will find out. I will find where you sleep. I will call your grown-up, and I will make sure that you are sleeping by 11 o'clock. Kids should be sleeping. All right, let's take a look. I like all the pictures here.
Me too.
It says to write the time, then circle AM or PM. All right, so number 1, part of it is done for us. It says eat breakfast.
Okay.
Well, I see a child here. It looks like he's making himself some cereal. And the clock says 7:15, so we need to write that time in. If you want to go over it, you can. And we need to figure out, it's done for us, of course. We need to decide, are you eating breakfast in the morning, meaning AM, or do you eat breakfast in the afternoon or evening, which is PM? When do you normally eat breakfast?
I normally eat breakfast in the morning in the AM. But you want to know a secret?
I know what it's going to be.
I had cereal for snack last night at like 8:30. I had
That's
Life cereal.
so good.
I love Cinnamon Life cereal. And I was so hungry last night. I was like, I'm going to pour myself a bowl of Cinnamon Life cereal at 8:30 at night. That's not normally when I eat it though.
But why not?
I know. Live your best life.
Sometimes we have pancakes for dinner.
Yeah, I love breakfast for dinner.
It's so good.
But normally,
Yeah.
we eat it in the AM, right? Yes.
Normally we eat breakfast in the AM. Why don't you take a look at yours?
Okay, so this one has a lot less done for us. All they've given us is the activity, go to art class, and then the analog time. We have to fill in the digital time and also decide if it's AM or PM. So there's a lot of work to do here. So let's take a look at the analog time. And I know that there is a shorthand which represents the hour. And I'm going to look, if I have my dots here, my hour goes on the left. And I got to figure that out first. So I can see if I were to extend this, it's kind of in between the 1 and the 2, but I have not yet gotten to the 2, which means it's still 1.
Still 1.
So I am going to write 1. And then in order to figure out the minutes, my longhand, I have to skip count by 5s around my clock and figure out what that is. Remember, we start with 5 at the 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So if the longhand is pointed at the 8, that's 40 minutes past the hour. So that is 1:40. Now, do I normally go to art class at 1:40 in the a.m. in the morning when it's still dark, right after midnight.
I think I'm usually sleeping.
I
right
am
after
always asleep at
midnight.
1:40 a.m. Or would I go to art class at 1:40 p.m.? That's in the afternoon, after lunchtime.
Oh, that sounds better.
Yeah.
I think after lunch we would go to art.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe we don't do the next ones for them, but we talk about what the activities are.
Okay.
All right. So for number 3, we have doing your homework. Now, this would refer to a typical school year when you are in the classroom and then you take work home with you to do after school is out for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking back, would you be doing work at, it looks like the hour is 4 something in the morning?
Again, when it's still dark
Yeah,
outside?
it's still dark and you probably haven't had your breakfast yet. Or would you be doing it in the afternoon after school is out?
Yeah.
Which
And
is-
then finally, arrive at school. Arrive means when you get somewhere. First thing, when I arrive at school, looks like the hour hand is pointed between the 8 and the 9, so it's still 8 something. Do I arrive at school around 8 something in the morning or around 8 something at night in the
my
PM?
Goodness, I think morning we would
Yeah.
start school, not
Yeah.
at night. Kids would be exhausted.
Wrapping up and getting ready for bed around 8.
Could you imagine if we had to teach at 8 o'clock at night?
That would be,
Even
I wouldn't
I
make
would
it.
be. I would
Yeah.
be tired. All right, let's see
All
what's
right.
on the next page. We have a couple more activities that you're going to take a look at and write the time
Okay.
digitally and circle AM or PM. And then down at the bottom, we have a question that's just a little bit trickier. So let's take a look. It says, think smarter. So turn your brain on. Okay. Use the times in the list to complete the story. All right. It says, Don got to school at blank. His class went to the library at blank. After school, Don read a book at blank.
Okay.
So it sounds like he's getting to school, so we need to pick like a time in the early morning. Something that he does at school, so like a time in the middle of the day, and then another time that would represent like after he gets home.
It also looks like this is done in sequence of events.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets to school in the morning, it probably needs to be the earliest time in the morning,
Absolutely.
right? And then it looks like when he goes to the library, it's going to be a time after in the morning,
Yep.
after he's gotten to school. And then after school's usually like not AM, it's usually PM.
It's usually PM.
All right, those are a lot of hints.
Those are a lot of
Yeah,
hints.
I think you guys will be able to do this.
All right, so just take a look at those times closely and keep them in order from the morning to the middle of the morning to afternoon.
And hint, they're not in order right now.
Mm-mm.
You have to unscramble them and put them in order. Yeah. Good luck, guys.
You can do it.